What you're seeing, not just in terms of the cadence or the frequency of these assault attempts, but also you're seeing an evolution in the quality or the premeditated intent of that shooting. So when you look at what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, you had an individual shooter who was essentially planning for the shooting during the event, right? He actually had a scope during the event. He was walking around the crowds. He climbed up on a roof with no escape or no evacuation plan. He essentially either climbed up on that roof with the intent to shoot and then be killed, or he never once thought that he might be shot at upon his escape. So you can see the lack of intentionality, the lack of training, the lack of planning that went into that attempt. Whereas we saw a very different setting in Florida. You saw a shooter show up who had pre-staged himself. He actually had backpacks with ceramic tiles. You don't ever hear people talking about that detail. But to me, when I hear that somebody shows up with ceramic tiles and multiple backpacks, it's because they are trying to create a barrier, an armor, a shield against incoming fire. Well, why would he want that? Because he knew he would be shot at. He would have returning fire. He already had his evacuation route planned. He had himself pre-staged. He had a scope and a sight. He knew that the president was going to be, or the former president was going to be going through a certain order of holes during his golfing day. And he even had his evacuation with his vehicle nearby and staged. And that's how he was able to flee the scene. So you can see an evolution in the intentionality of it, along with the evolution in some of the activity that you've seen in the campaign circuit as well.
But here's the rub on this. I reckon if I said to you, Trump's doing a rally at the location where he was shot, this is before it takes place, where do you reckon the most obvious place is that a shooter could want to get to shoot him? You'd say that roof. Secondly, if I said to you, Trump plays golf every weekend that he's in Florida at the Trump International at Palm Beach, and he plays the holes in exactly the same order, and there are 3 in a cluster in a corner, which is where the media tend to put themselves to get a clean shot with a camera of him playing golf because it's the best place to get a clean shot. If I said to you those 2 things, right, you would immediately demand in advance proper protection to stop people going to those 2 places. I would. I've never been in the CIA. I've never been in the Secret Service. I'm just a television guy. But I would know immediately that those 2 places are highly likely to be places a would-be assassin would choose to be. So if I'm aware of that, and you would definitely be aware of that, why weren't the Secret Service? And it beggars belief that they just didn't think of this. So when I hear conspiracy theories go, well, they must have known, they wanted this to happen and stuff. Obviously, I think that's ridiculous. Every part of me says, no, of course they don't. But I don't have any logical explanation for why they didn't properly protect Trump.
Freedom! So fresh, so new.